Detachment exists without expression. Detachment breathes in each confession. Contentment beyond need is in submission. And let's see, the next one, P.D. Valentine on Boyd Rice's Macho. Okay, let's see if there is words here. Words. Nope, I don't see any words. Okay, I'll flip forward. And you may prove me wrong. My comments. Okay, what is this? Everlasting flame. There is reason to think that the nightly prayers, words, symbolic clothing, the Jews, Zoroastrians, Abul Qasim is a title. What is this? Priest. Okay, what is... Oh, perhaps it's a longer comment. Words like Navajote for the late childhood initiation seems to be where we get the term novice. May there be a festival for life, a festival for death, a festival for preparing for puberty, adulthood, and a marriage. There's a difference. Come on. Jamshid, Jahak. What is this? The reason why Muslims could enter hell. I guess one would want me to share that one, wouldn't one? We will not be able to hide who we really are in the end. The sickness appears online and in commercials of the best of shows. Life is a combination of traits that we may not be able to fully recall, but what they are in the face of our intentions with all. Everything counts, and we need to constantly strive to be better and really try to repent of the past instead of conditional victories over evil and ignorance are temporary ones. There are final deeds that give us something, but the higher spiritual status is in the fine details. I strive to always be more knowledgeable and more devoted in good than anyone knows. And what is this? Praying away my depression? Okay, what is this person? I mean, what do I say on that, on such a person? Yahweh, 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 Nislimo, Vios, Yamokia, Fisnia, Hominikila, Hoisnia, Hoisnia, Hang. Okay. Evoking experiences out of oneself is an issue. I talk about more than my live ritual and New Age religion. Playlist, but diet and media choices over drugs helps. You know, instead of drugs. Worship can bring about all the pleasant psychedelics, sensual, emotional, and mental, without the harm and lack of development that is there with both prescribed drugs and recreational drugs. Some things take time, but they even help in the short term. The person mentioned in my The Blonde Stranger and the Creek playlist may be in loss in life or even death, but that list alone should prove she had more good and truth in her life than maybe even she knows. My efforts with her would have been worth it had no one else known she had a true friend. I don't know if she's had any new true friends in the past 12 years, but I'm not saying she hasn't made friends, but they've been sort of frenemies, haven't they? God does not change the reality that he created the rules for. Religion, as it came through Muhammad ibn Abdullah, the last Israel Messiah and Emmanuel, and, Jesus, and other prophets of God, is the best defense from mental illness and other problems that can be affected by choice in the original forms. And the message and myth, meaning of Gramorium Verum, super spaced out, so I'm not going to say the Heathen Podcast with Asbjorn Torval, the first episode, Why Soroth Ruined My Life, Rose Epistle, Epistle to the Unbound of Satan. Okay. Well, there's something to at the front of this, isn't there? So I guess I'm going to say something about the Heathen Podcast show with Asbjorn Torval, first episode. Heathen and pagan is more about being a poor or middle-class country dweller or homeless than spiritual. Asatru is actually a term that applies to anyone with faith in what is treated as divine. Whether the 16 Norse runes, 24 Germanic runes, 30 Anglo-Saxon runes are rune staves, they are only a type of Teutonic. Norse is a type of this race, magic, and considered a minority in history. General entity worship and symbolic actions that many would consider spell work were larger issues. Marriage is an initiation, but others would always work as self-initiation when proper witnesses are not available. Shamans and other types of priests are just experienced or skilled enough to lead instead of better in the shared actions. I think of Pepe, the new alternative left snake, explaining the issue of individuality better than become a living God. Dogma, its firmly held beliefs, can be entirely personal, and my snake meme can represent that. Science shows that thoughts, words, and deeds differ in truth, results, and experiences. God's prophets encouraged philosophy instead of mere belief, too. A theory is the philosophy of science because you're working with established facts, not presumptions, when you're talking about a real theory. coming from the word theurgy. And Paul, the founder of Christianity, was against philosophy, even though he was a combination of an Aristotelian, Epicurean, Platonic, Stoic, and pre-Socratic philosophy himself. And Epistle to the Unbound, expression without exist attachment. Okay, what is this one called? The Everlasting Flame. Okay, there's sanctified, evil, Zendavestin. Okay, I guess I'll share a couple lines here I don't think I've shared. Ritual change, ritual schedule and structure are important, but how much of it is in agreement with actual messages of prophets? I don't like to take the father part of it literally, but the contents of progress leaves the list better than what almost any religion says. If Mazda Yasnahe is how praise, worship, songs, and celebration are for God, why are the holidays and worship of angels and celebration of the prophet's birthday? Wouldn't it be important to focus on more of what came through Ahura Mazda's prophets to humanity over priestly developments? Prayer times makes more sense as the visions of the day that are upon the same portions of the night and day. There is reason to think that the night prayers were originally evening, dusk, dawn, and dawn. May there be okay, I've shared. The Jews who wrote Tanakh would insult the Persians by calling them chesti and acting like they worshipped God only as magic spells instead of as a soldier of righteousness over wickedness. Treating people as better that avoid or needlessly marriage seems to devalue a religious path in terms of life. It seems that the Zoroastrian ritual for marriage ensured that the whole community would get involved in making it possible. It is hard to miss the influence of the Zoroastrian faith upon Judaism and that of Yezidism and the North Asian. Well, Yezidism can be said to have come first, influencing what is not directly of that part, and North Asian and Northern European cults upon it during and after the Achaemenid Empire. There's a difference between devotion and discipline in a way that we should all be assisting priests and officiating priestesses. Abul Qasim, the title forbidden to after Muhammad ibn Abdullah in Islamic tradition, Ferdowsi Tusi, is unknown in his given name because the former was his name as a parent and the latter for his tribe. This was also prefaced by Hakim, wise, and other titles. As much as he did not preserve the ancient languages, he certainly helped to solidify Farsi as language. The same was Homer in what he did with Greek. Surely, such a masterpiece as the Shah Nama required development that we do not see due to his earliest work being lost. Rustam, son of Zal, meaning descent, and Rudaba, meaning river of water, may very well be a story that has its roots going back to river gods and goddesses, or alleged, like that of Helmand River, and information going back to what remains of the human memory of the origins of the Persians as different among anatomically modern humans. Preserving information among traditional clothing is more than archaeological because it may contain techniques, materials, and styles more suited to the environment, more resource efficient, and more durable than modern counterparts. A person can't really refuse to be God's prophet when called, but some resisted and questioned. Jamshid or Yima of the Dadean dynasty is exaggerated like the rest, but might be a Noah-like figure of the Persian mountains and the ending of an ice age. Jahak, or Zohak, is important as the conflict between Arab and Persian goes back before any of the languages, and the warning of the possibility for a human being to become a demon in the flesh. And, any of the current Persian and Arab languages. What is this one called? The reason why Muslims could enter hell. Okay, that's already been shared from. Conditioned. And what is this one? Praying away depression. I guess I copied and pasted and sent to different people and added a different thing each time. I don't even remember the original title of this video at this point, or I could have said something about that. But it's important to, if you really want to have the deep drug-like experiences, you got to obtain the balance and devotion and the practice and stuff, which can be done to such an extent that one doesn't even know. You might not be able to pay attention at all or stay still or all sorts of stuff. But okay, let's on PD Valentine on Boyd Rice's Strong Macho Hello Sailor. Hail